Okay, so we got an anime trailer to watch, and this is not like a normal anime trailer. Let me scroll down and show you the description. So this is actually a crowd-funded anime. As it says in the description, they're going to try to make a 20-minute long short film. Anyways, what is this based on? SCP, a lot of people might remember this. So this is Secure, Contain, and Protect. I found different information about it. Some sources say it started in 2006, some in 2007. But in any case, the SCP Foundation is around 20 years old, a massive collaborative writing project and shared world that has been very influential on the internet. I think for about 10 years after it first started existing, it was extremely influential. And then eventually a bunch of stuff happened. Like there were too many writers who were getting, like hot anime girls or something like that entered in when it was, really supposed to be about scary stuff instead, or things like that. And also there were some attempts to like copyright and take over some of it, and I think those all failed if I remember correctly. But for a while there were like Russians trying to copyright the whole thing or something like that. And then there was I think 2 different video games, at least one of them, and I'm thinking 2 of them that came out based on this world. So there have been loads of SCP Foundation stuff before. Most of it is part of this website, but there've been branch off things like the video game before, and I think it was actually 2 video games that did that. I can't quite remember. But anyways, so here is the trailer for that, and I'm very excited about it. Even though the SCP did decline in popularity and in relevance to internet culture over the last, 10 years or so, when it was at its peak, it was very important and very beloved. So this is a big piece of internet history if this thing actually occurs and becomes something other than just a trailer. So let's go ahead and look at the trailer. It's only about a minute long, and I might pause a little bit during it, but I'm going to try to get through the whole thing with no pausing. So let's rewind, and then we'll go.
So, your choice. What will it be?
I'll hold tight to what little I have.
Well, that was really interesting. Yeah, that was really interesting. So, let's rewind it and look back at some of these parts of it. It really does capture the feel of the SCP Foundation. I like the imagery. Like, look at this facial expression on this. I assume this will be the main character. Look at that facial expression. It's like very subtle and very intense at the same time, and really it sets the mood, that facial expression. And then look at this huge building here. Look at this. Yeah, I like the way that it looks upwards, and it's so huge that it can't all get in camera. It's so huge, it can never actually all get in camera. That was a really good shot there. Really set the mood of it. And then this is pretty good. This is a good mood thing. But this one here, where they show the building and how big it is. And look at these other buildings. Are these other buildings also part of it? You know, I bet they are. Just look at this and the trees growing indoors and how huge it is, how absolutely huge it is. And the skylights up here, that really sets the mood there, that architecture. And then when the various bad things are happening here, it's scary, and but you can't quite tell what's happening, and but a lot of different things you can tell are beginning to happen. Like the tree is growing out of the guy here, and all sorts of emotions here, and it really sets the mood. So yeah, it looks interesting. It does look like it's hand-drawn animation. I'm not sure if it's all going to be hand-drawn, or if some of it will be CGI, or some of it will be AI, or maybe they'll use a combination of maybe all three of them. I'm not sure. But it does look like it's hand-drawn with a little bit of CGI, especially on the backgrounds. So I think they're using like CGI for some of the backgrounds here, and then hand-drawn animation there. And it is a really gorgeous design. And I do notice they're not really having a lot of information, but this thing here, does this mean that they're trying to get more people to go to the Kickstarter and give it money during this time period? Or does it mean that something will actually appear during this time period? I'm not quite sure what it is that they're saying. And let's see, a lot of people working on this. Yes, a huge amount of people working on this when you look at this thing here. And yeah, so for a trailer, it is definitely exciting, and I like it. I hope that the actual thing will appear. I don't know if it actually will. I have distrust about these projects that say they're going to appear and then sometimes they never do. So I'm not accusing them of anything. I'm just saying that sometimes these projects don't appear, and I've seen it before. I hope this one does appear. I hope it does. But I have that distrust in my heart that sometimes they never appear. But the cool thing about the SCP Foundation is that it is, if I remember correctly, it's still copyright free. It's so the attempts to copyright large portions of it, I think they all failed, so it's still copyright free. So not just these guys who are trying to make this particular anime, but anyone could try to make an SCP anime and basically have the right to do it as long as they weren't using characters that were specific to someone else or something like that. So that is also an exciting thought. So yes, I definitely like this. Oh, I'd better remember to give a thumbs up. I often forget to do that. And then let's look at the creator's channel, see what else they have here. Looks like it's, yeah, so there's been some activity, and this is from 13 days ago. Is this just This just looks like maybe it's more of the same, like it's a smaller version of this trailer. I'm not sure. And then this one is from 2 years ago. Okay, let's see what's the most recent stuff. Most recent stuff. Okay, so these are teasers that are part of this trailer, I think. Let's look at this one and see if it is.
Your choice. What will it be?
Yeah, it's just part of the other trailer. I think. Yeah, there's nothing else in there. Yeah, I think it's just part of the other thing. Okay, so liked the trailer, and we'll like this as well. And that was cool. It was a fun time seeing that cool animation and thinking about the cool possibilities that might happen.